Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Nicole, and today we have another journal entry. And what we're going to be talking about today is appreciating what you have instead of obsessing over what you don't have. Go get yourself like a snack or like a cup of tea, because that's gonna turn into a podcast at this point. Okay, so I have my notes as usual. To start things off, you need to enjoy the present moment. It's that easy, it's that simple. And actually I have a lot to say about enjoying the present moment because as we all know, I'm taking a philosophy class. We talk a lot about being present in the moment, and I'm also taking a psychology class which goes along with it, though I don't pay attention in neither of those classes, but I know what I'm talking about. So when I tell enjoy the present moment, I don't mean just like be happy. No, I mean be present in the moment as you live it, physically as well as mentally. And I feel like I've mentioned that in my video about motivation, and I said it a lot. I'm gonna say it again. Be present in the moment and enjoy little things. Be present physically as well as mentally. Do not obsess over future, over past, over your problems, or whatever you have going on in your life. Do not obsess over that. I'm begging you. It's gonna take up so much of your time, and you're gonna feel stressed and you're gonna feel overwhelmed all the time, and you will not be able to enjoy the small moments. And when you realize that what you could have done, it might be a little too late. Coming from my philosophy class, one of the old philosophers said, in order to have a good life, you need to have, I'm not gonna repeat his exact words because I've never read the book, but his point is to have a good life, you need to be stress-free and you need to be present in the moment. He paid so much attention, and he was talking so much about being present in the moment, about enjoying little things and not obsessing over death. And I feel like this topic falls really good with appreciating what you have and not obsessing over what you don't have, because, well, one day it might be a little too late to appreciate what you already have, and then you're gonna be like, oh well, damn, why would I waste my time thinking about something somebody else has that I don't, where I have. You need to understand, oh my god, I have to stop switching topics so fast. But you need to understand that even if you think your situation is bad, there's somebody out there whose situation is worse, and they still enjoy life. They don't complain like your ass does. I know you do. And if you don't, good job. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is there is always somebody else whose situation is worse than yours. The next big, huge thing is tomorrow is not guaranteed. I don't like talking about it because I feel like that's my most sensitive topic, is about death and dying and not waking up the next day when you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and I'm gonna do this thing tomorrow. And I feel like I really need to get out of my comfort zone to do it. A little backstory how I ended up doing this video and coming up with this video. Yesterday night I decided to pull an all-nighter and my dumbass drank a Monster at 11 p.m. I was scrolling to TikTok, and TikTok has miserable. It has the worst timing ever. It started showing me on my For You page, showing me videos about people sharing their stories, how they lost their loved ones due to suicide and all that stuff, and car accidents, cancer, and all that stuff. Plus, I decided to read a book yesterday, and it's this book, Slammed. I do recommend it, though I hated it and I was crashing out and I thought I was actually going to lose my voice because of the amount of screaming I did while reading that book. But what stuck to me was, and I'll be talking about it, I'll be actually reading one of the poems from the book because it relates to the topic. The whole book relates to the topic, so I might be little fragments of the book into my video. Tomorrow is not guaranteed, and you think you're gonna wake up, and some of us people, we tend to think like, oh yeah, we tend to be like, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna work out tomorrow, and I'm like 100% sure, because I'm young, I still like, I have good health, like I'm gonna live tomorrow, and I'm gonna live a day after that, I've got like a whole life in front of me. But what we do not understand, or even if we do understand, we don't acknowledge it enough, is the fact that tomorrow is never guaranteed. It's not promised, because you can walk out of your door feeling just fine like normal, like every other day, get in your car and get into a car accident and die on the spot. You can go out crossing the street, get hit by a bus, die at the scene, die in the hospital. You can go to the hospital for a regular checkup appointment and get like diagnosed with cancer, and you find out you got like a few months to live. I feel like people who are actually struggling with disease and they know that they have so little time to live, that they tend to be present in the moment, and they tend to be the most happy people, because even though they know they're dying and they know they're about to like pass away and not be here anymore, they want to enjoy every single little moment they have left on the earth, so they can make memories, and I don't want to make their loved ones feel bad, because I mean, they're about to die. So we need to acknowledge that. We need to acknowledge that tomorrow is not guaranteed. And the way I wrote it down, I'm gonna read it out. I really like the way I wrote it down. So we're talking about tomorrow not being guaranteed, right? And I said, I've thought about it before, but then the thought left me. Every time it makes its way back to my mind, it's like a punch in the chest. Air gets knocked out of my lungs, and the only thing I can think about is, what if I die tomorrow? And then another bullet point. It makes me realize how many things I want to do, but keep putting them away because I think I have all the time in the world when I really don't. And that's the line I feel like everybody should remember from this video. You think you have all the time in the world. Babe, you do not. When I tell you, I'm mad convinced I have all the time in the world, and I realize it now that I do not, because once again, tomorrow is not guaranteed. You never know what happens, and so much can happen in such short amounts of time. It's really crazy. But let's get to the most interesting part, and we're gonna read a poem that I'm sorry if I'm spoiling some of you people. This poem is performed by the main character at this thing that they like performing poems and stuff. That's the male main character. Excuse my reading, I have a language barrier and I do not know how to read out loud good. So I might either edit it a lot, or I might just like let it be, let my pauses be, and let everything be. So excuse me. The poem is called Death. Death, the only inevitable thing in life. People don't like to talk about death because it makes them sad. They don't want to imagine how life will go on without them. All the people they love will briefly grieve but continue to breathe. They don't want to imagine how life will go on without them. Their children will grow, get married, get old. They don't want to imagine how life will continue to go on without them. Their material things will be sold, their medical files stamped closed. Their name becoming a memory to everyone they know. They don't want to imagine how life will go on without them, so instead of accepting it head on, they avoid the subject altogether, hoping and praying it will somehow pass them by, forget about them. Moving on to the next one in line. No, they didn't want to imagine how life would be continuing going on without them. But death didn't forget. Instead, they were mad by death, disguised as an 18-wheeler behind the cloud of fog. Death did not forget about them. If only they had been prepared, accepted the inevitable, laid out their plans, understood that if it wasn't just their lives at hand, I may have legally been considered an adult at the age of 19, but I still felt very much all of just 19, unprepared and overwhelmed to suddenly have the entire life of a 7-year-old in my realm. Death, the only thing inevitable in life. That was something. When I was reading this book, I did not, that's like The second poem. The point is, I did not understand the poem and the meaning behind it until I actually finished the book, went back and reread all the poems again. And after the backstory of the male main character, after finishing pretty much the whole book in one day, I understood what she meant by that. What I'm trying to say is, avoiding talking about a problem does not mean solving the problem, which is basically, it's going to be an elephant in a room. And once again, I'm a psychology student. I know something about our brain. And it's always like if you're not familiar with the phrase the elephant in the room, it's basically the big thing that just hangs in the air, that both people, like the group of people or one person, refuses to talk about, and it becomes like, it makes just people overwhelmed and stressed for no reason when you just like have to have the conversation in order to move on and get rid of the elephant. I feel like no matter how much you tell people to start appreciating what they have, to stop obsessing over the future, to stop obsessing over things they don't have, they will not understand it until they really close to death. And then once they are really close to death, they'll be like, okay, yeah, I need to take a step back. I need to actually enjoy the present moment. And according to my notes, that's it. And I feel like there's nothing much to talk about it. It's just like, I can't make you be there. I can't get in your head and make you like be present mentally and physically. That's something you have to figure out on your own. I'm just trying to make you more aware of what are the possibilities that can happen tomorrow or even today. So when you like experience it, hopefully not, when you experience it or when you like start to realize it won't, so like I'm trying to tell you guys that, so when you realize it, when you experience it, it won't be too late. Because one day you're gonna be like, oh yeah, maybe I should enjoy my life. And then it's like you're 80 and you're sitting in a wheelchair, staring out of the window and thinking about all those years of your life you spent thinking about other people, being jealous about other people of what they have, instead of getting up, doing work, and getting your own life and getting the same or even better things that the people that you were obsessing with and you were jealous of. And then it's too late. You can't do anything about it. You can't go back in time. But that's going to be out of topic. But the one thing I have to tell about going back in time, I know a lot of us wish we could go back in time and change something in our past. But once again, as a philosophy and psychology student, okay, talking from my experience, I've done so much stuff when I was younger, and I'm still doing so much stuff that I keep regretting, but I keep doing it for some dumb reason. But still, I've done so much stuff that I regret, and sometimes I wish I could go back in time, but if I had the opportunity, I would not change a single thing. The reason being is because I was talking about it the other day with my science teacher. We were talking about cloning, and it's basically like, yeah, you can clone yourself. It's possible, but you will not be the same person, because the thing that makes you is not like your looks. It's not your like genes and stuff. It's your memories. It's the stuff that we go through that makes you. And if you go back in time and if you change one little thing, you will not be you. Or if you like have a choice to forget everything and start over, you will not be the same person. You will be a different person, because your memories, your experiences, they shape you. That's just how it is. And yeah, I guess that's all I have to say. I really thought it would be harder, but I guess I got used to talking about it after talking for hours and hours to myself. I'm just schizo like that. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, I guess that's it. I thought it would be longer, but thankfully it's not too long, so maybe your attention span is good enough to watch till the end. If you did, like, share, and comment, and I see you guys in the next video. Bye.